The auction hall fell silent as the creature was dragged onto the platform. Zendaya's crimson eyes blazed with feral hatred, her alabaster skin streaked with dirt and blood. Iron chains, forged from meteoric alloy, the only substance known to hold a vampire, bound her wrists and ankles. She hissed at the gathered crowd, fangs bared, more animal than sentient being. The auctioneer, a four-armed Krillian merchant, cleared his throat nervously. Lot 847, female vampire. Origin, Earth age, approximately 3 centuries. Warning, extremely volatile. Recommended for experienced handlers only. The auction house was packed with the galaxy's elite collectors and slavers. Towering hexapods clicked their mandibles in interest. Crystalline Voidborn hummed with electromagnetic curiosity. But as Zendaya lunged against her chains, screaming in a language most had never heard, even the bravest stepped back. Opening bid, 5,000 credits, the auctioneer announced. Silence. Zendaya's laughter echoed through the hall, broken, manic, terrifying. She had been a scientist once, before the infection, before Earth fell, before humanity scattered to the stars as refugees, and she became something else entirely. Now she was a curiosity, a monster to be sold to the highest bidder. 4,000? The auctioneer tried again, desperation creeping into his voices. Nothing. Among the crowd, Jamie stood perfectly still. He wore the simple gray jumpsuit of a station mechanic, unremarkable among the exotic aliens and wealthy collectors. His brown eyes studied Zendaya with an intensity that made several nearby hexapods shift uncomfortably. He recognized what others didn't see. Beneath the madness, beneath the rage, there was intelligence, pain, the look of someone who had fought so hard against their nature that they'd fractured. Jamie had seen that look before. In the mirror, on colony ships, in refugee camps. Humans weren't supposed to survive in this galaxy. Too weak, they said. Too fragile. Too emotional. But humanity had a talent that no other species understood. They endured. They adapted. They refused to break, even when breaking seemed merciful. 2,000 credits. Surely someone. 10,000. Every head turned. Jamie's hand was raised, his voice calm and clear. The auctioneer's eyes widened. Sir, I must warn you, this specimen is, I know what she is. Jamie interrupted. 10,000 credits. Final offer. Zendaya's head snapped toward him. Their eyes met across the distance. For a moment, her snarling ceased. There was something in his gaze that stopped her, not pity, not fear, but recognition. Sold. The auctioneer slammed his gavel before anyone could object. To the human in lot section 7. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Foolish, humans, and their sentimentality. He'll be dead within a cycle. Jamie ignored them all. The transfer was handled quickly. Jamie signed the documents, transferred the credits, nearly everything he'd saved in 5 years of station work, and received the control device for Zendaya's chains. The Krillian handed it over with evident relief. Good luck, human. You'll need it. Jamie led Zendaya through the station corridors. She walked behind him, chains clinking, silent now but radiating barely contained violence. He could feel her eyes boring into his back, calculating, waiting for the moment to strike. His quarters were small, a single room in the station's human sector, where Earth's refugees clustered together for comfort. As the door sealed behind them, Jamie turned to face her. I'm going to release your chains, he said quietly. Zendaya laughed, the sound like breaking glass. So you can die quickly? How merciful. Maybe. Jamie's fingers moved to the control device. Or maybe because I know what it's like to be caged. Her laughter died. You know nothing. I know Earth, Jamie said. I know what we lost. I know what it means to survive when everything says you shouldn't. He pressed the release button. The chains fell away with a metallic crash. For 3 heartbeats, neither moved. Zendaya could cross the distance in less than a second. Rip his throat out. Feed until his body was hollow. Every instinct screamed at her to do it. But Jamie didn't flinch, didn't reach for a weapon, didn't run. Why? The word tore from her throat, raw and desperate. Because every species in this galaxy looked at humanity and said we wouldn't make it. Jamie answered. Too weak, too breakable. They didn't understand that our strength isn't in our bodies. It's in our refusal to give up. On ourselves. On each other. He took a careful step forward. "You're not a monster, Zendaya. You're a human who's been fighting alone for too long." Actual tears formed in her crimson eyes. When was the last time she'd cried? Before the infection? Before the madness? "I've killed," she whispered. "I've fed on, I know," Jamie said gently. "And you hate yourself for it. I can see it in your eyes. That's what makes you human. Not what you've done to survive, but that you still care about it." Zendaya's legs gave out. She collapsed to her knees, centuries of grief and guilt crashing over her like a wave. Jamie knelt beside her, close enough to be dangerous, far enough to give her space. "The galaxy thinks humans are weak," he said softly. "Let's prove them wrong, together." She looked up at him through tears, seeing clearly for the first time in decades. Here was someone who understood, someone who saw past the monster to the person still fighting underneath. "I don't know if I can control it," she admitted, voice breaking. "Then we'll figure it out," Jamie said. "That's what humans do. We survive, we adapt, we don't give up on our own." He extended his hand. "What do you say?" Zendaya stared at his hand, so fragile, so easily broken, yet offered without hesitation or fear. She took it. Outside, the galaxy continued to underestimate humanity. But in that small room on a forgotten station, two survivors made a choice that would echo across the stars. They would not surrender. Not to darkness, not to despair, not to the voices that said they couldn't make it. Because humanity's greatest weapon had never been strength or technology. It was hope, and hope, once kindled, was impossible to extinguish.